And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and read
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Ruther Richter, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay. Hey.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
expression.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got-
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time-
with
when
you.
it- when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think of
you.
something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Harsh words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Weekdays, catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are enjoying your afternoon. It's Tuesday afternoon, y'all. And like I said, I told y'all I'd be on today at 2. I got a crazy couple days for you, honestly. Just a laundry list of things going on right now. A lot of things to cover, a lot of things to talk about, just to be straight funky. And I'm very, very excited about this particular conversation that we're about to have here right now. Because here it is. There's a lot of people that are, a lot of people have their speculations of things that have been going on. And we have covered a large scope of things that were going on with Fresh and Fit. We've interviewed Anna Quinn Fitness. We've interviewed Gray. We have interviewed Allende. Now I'm going to be sitting down and chopping it up with somebody very, very special. He's also the other guy that was in that video that was being shared, talking about this 100,000 subscriber party that they're getting blamed for, basically. So without further ado, I need to get straight into the story and get straight into this. Please welcome my brother Larj. Larj Studios is in the house. How you doing, my brother?
Hello, people. I'm doing great. And yourself?
Man, I'm living. I am living. To be really honest, I'm living. You know, I'm here. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to finally get you on. You know, yesterday didn't work out, so I appreciate you being so flexible with me and being able to do this conversation this afternoon. And yes, for all of the guys, for my fam, they're not used to me being on it like right now at this time. So it is a little random. But of course, we had to get into this conversation because for me, you are the last conversation I'm going to have, the last interview I'm going to have revolving around this whole Fresh and Fit debacle, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is the perfect way to close this book, to close this, you know, to end this chapter, to end this story, and wrap it up with a nice bow on top with you coming in and telling your side of the story of everything that went down over at the Fresh and Fit podcast, especially what's been going on with this 100,000, you know, subscriber party that apparently didn't go as well as they thought it would go. So we got to jump into all of this. But before we go into the meat and potatoes, right? I need to know a little bit about yourself. You know what I mean? Tell people about your YouTube channel. What is it that you do exactly?
Okay.
Tell the people about yourself.
All right. So, hello, people. Once again, I am Larj, or Larj Studios. I do professional photography and videography, as well as consulting for models and photographers, people who are trying to break into the industry. I'm located here in Miami, but I do travel because of the type of work that I do. And make a long story short, I guess I am now a former team member of the Fresh and Fit podcast. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Yes. And beautifully said, beautifully put. You see what I'm saying? And if you guys haven't seen his stuff, you need to go and check out his YouTube channel, his Instagram, all of that. Larj Studios. You can find a lot of his stuff right there on IG and on YouTube.
LARJ Studios with the S and N. Larj Studios across the board for everything. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, what have you. I'm probably most known for Instagram simply because I shoot so many of the IG, baddies, so to speak,
Gotcha.
always interacting with them. And as far as YouTube goes, I'm now trying to create more content in YouTube dealing with the actual IG models that I work with, as well as adding a little bit of the, let's call it RP awareness or manosphere within. So I'll be able to, since I have access to so many popular models, I'm going to have them on for interviews or to showcase their personalities or, bring up different conversations with them to be able to, so people can see different truths come out or analyze the situation for what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely, and and I think you have a really great platform in which you can do those things. I feel like now more than ever, you are, I guess, getting thrust into that realm, right? Getting thrust into the realm of having the responsibility of building your own platform instead of working with Fresh and Fit. So I mean, the knowledge and the information that you do have, because I've seen you on their show a couple times, and you come in with a lot of information and a lot of and some good strong opinions. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you bring to the table with on top of everything.
Okay.
But so you're a photographer, you make some really, really great photos and content and everything. But I got to ask, how did you get involved with Fresh and Fit?
Okay. Well, first, before I get into that, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How is the lighting on my face? Can you see me good or no? Or does this have
Lighting on the face is good, from
Oh.
my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So how did I get involved with Fresh and Fit? Let's see. I was sometime last year, I did a shoot with Kevin Samuels in New York. And then he later went on the Fresh and Fit show like the next month later, which was in December, I think, or a month or two later. And I didn't know who Fresh and Fit was at the time, but I knew who Kevin Samuels was, right? Because I just worked with him and that type of thing. So he popped up on my YouTube like homepage where they show recommended videos that they think you might like. And he was on the Fresh and Fit show. So I clicked on that and found out about them. Once I watched some of their content and consumed some of it, I was like, okay, cool. Well, these guys are here in Miami and they're talking about and dealing with certain things that I also have a lot of information as well as experience dealing with a lot of hot women or working with them or dating them or what have you. So I was like, all right, let me, I like where their platform is. I think we can benefit each other. So let me reach out to them. So I reached out and then I reached out to Fresh from Fresh and Fit and it turned on Instagram. And it turns out that he already knew who I was or had heard of me, seen some of my work. I guess we had dealt with some of the same women or models before. So yeah, we decided to link up and then make some stuff happen after that.
Yeah. And then of course you guys started making some content. I mean, Fresh and Fit, the podcast itself, like the set and all that was already there when you kind of were introduced to them, or was that something still a work in progress?
Well, I would like to say that they're always a work in progress. That's a good thing about them. That's one thing that I'll say that is definitely they do that's really good, which is that Myron, the head of the ship, is constantly trying to improve his studio, improve his quality, and he's always trying to improve. So, 2 thumbs up to that. So they're always a work in progress, to answer your question. But if you want to know at what point in time did, let's say, I get in, I would say it was before they had 100,000 subscribers. So maybe they had around 50 to 80-ish thousand subscribers, somewhere around that mark. I could be wrong. People can double check just to make sure, but it was sometime earlier this year.
Oh, right on. Okay. So of course, were there anything? Okay, of course, you guys got together. You guys hang out. Starting to figure out that, hey, we like working with you guys, working with each other. I mean, like, so you linked up with them, right? and then suddenly you started working with them. So how did that transition happen?
Got it. Got you. So the first time that I was linking up with them, it was so that way I could be a guest on their show, because we know what their show is about, right? So it kind of made sense for me to get introduced in that way, where a popular photographer in Miami who works with a lot of popular models who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of followers. So I work with them, and I also date with them, and I have fun with them, etc. Right? So
Right.
it's a unique perspective to for their platform, or for the sphere as a whole, to be able to have that type of perspective. So I came on initially as a guest,
Gotcha.
and after I don't rem- I don't I think it was a couple days after I first was on there, because the very first time I went on there, one of the girls that I brought 3 girls with me. One of them that I brought on was kicked off the show. There was a big debacle. This was before they had their kick out cam. This was the reason as to why they got their kick out cam, if I remember correctly. But there was a whole situation with that, to where they didn't keep that up on YouTube. I think they just kept it Patreon exclusive. So we talked on the phone. I talked with both of them on the phone, a couple of days later, or the next day or something. And one of the things that they presented to me was that they were getting, they wanted to present me a deal where I would bring a certain amount of women on their show, per week. And then in return, they would give me my own show once per month, on their platform.
Ah,
Okay, cool. That sounds like a good deal.
yeah.
I know a lot of women through photography, dealing with them, etc. And this would be a good way for me to start, venturing down the YouTube avenue, and see how things are. So it was good. It was beneficial for both of us. That's how we initially started with business.
So it wasn't financial at first. It was
No.
mainly, hey, if you provide us with the girls,
Mhm.
we'll provide you with a platform in which you can create, like, do one show a month, have a grand old time. You can get all the bells and whistles. Because I mean, let's be real. Shout out to their production. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
ain't playing.
Studio, top quality production.
Yeah. I mean, it's really damn good. So I feel you on that, and I see that, and I would sit there and say, yeah, let me get you as many girls as I can. Let's go.
Mhm.
Okay, so it wasn't financial at first, but it did turn into something financial later, correct? Because you didn't do any shows that I noticed of your own, right?
Wait, no, yeah. I've been on their show where I was the solo guest. I think maybe 3
Oh,
times.
so that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Not solo doing your own thing, solo just being on their show once a month.
Yeah, well, solo
Got
guest. I've been on their show where there's been other women as well,
Yeah.
on their late night show with some of the girls that I brought on. But when I say my own show, I meant like where I'm on their platform,
Gotcha.
where it's just us 3, Myron, Fresh, and me.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay. So then obviously things have changed, right? Things progressed. You were working alongside with them. And then, I mean, did it ever turn financial from that point on?
Okay, so in terms of money being involved,
Hmm.
that did not get in. I have no money issues with them at that time. The only time there was an actual money issue was when was during the 100K party. So they were coming up to 100,000 subscribers, or by that time they had actually passed 100,000 subscribers. But they were going to throw a celebratory party to for them reaching the milestone of 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the problems arise, or anything. So before I get into that, is there
Sure.
anything you wanted to ask, or anything you wanted me to clarify leading up to that, or do you want to get straight to that?
I mean, obviously we want to, of course, get down to the meat and potatoes of everything, right? But as far as the relationship that you guys had, it
Okay.
was created from you guys meeting. You had some resource, you had access to certain people that they that they, of course, were more than happy to have on their show. It turned into a whole thing of like, hey, we'll let you go solo with us once a month.
Mhm.
But in return, you facilitate us with a bevy of beautiful women, right?
Yep.
And so was there ever any tension, any problems with that when it came to providing the women? Were they ever upset about the caliber of women you were bringing in? Anything of that sort?
Let's think. Off the top of my memory, not really. Everything was all good. Let me double check. Let me think about this for a second. Let's see.
Take your time.
Girls. Okay, so the only issues with any of the girls that might have happened are, okay, there were like, let's say, two type of issues. And one's a good issue to have, by the way. But the first one would be like, one time I brought a girl on there who was on the show. And then after the show had ended, she so happened to get into a verbal altercation with another team member of the Fresh and Fit.
Mm-hmm.
That verbal altercation escalated, and it eventually ended up on their Patreon. So, if you count that as a problem or an issue, then even though they monetize it, then okay, great, you can count that. But the only other issue would be that, okay, so there was me, and there was another guy that would provide women to the show before I even got there, which is Ayinde, or Authentic Alphas on YouTube. He changed his name. So he was providing women as well. So it's me and him. So we were working in tandem. Let's just leave it at that. We were working together to bring girls there, right?
Mm.
And so sometimes we would overbook girls because girls flake, right? If
All day. Yeah.
I invite 10 girls to come on, maybe 4 or 5 would show up because the rest, they're going to flake for one reason or another. So I would overbook girls, and Ayinde would do the same as well. He would overbook girls. So sometimes they would all show up all at once, with no flakes or very little flakes, and then the show would be overbooked. And that's when you see like the 15 girls on the panel or the 10 girls on the panel, like
right.
Lies the couch. I mean, if you consider that an issue, I mean, in terms of technical aspect, they had to set up like the microphones and rearrange stuff and push. But then, other than that, really no. But there were no actual issues.
Okay.
With any. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's fair. And that's fair. Okay, so then let's get down to it, shall we? Because I mean, this is when everything goes to crap anyway, right?
Yeah.
This is when everything goes off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this. It was a 100,000 subscriber party that you guys were about to have or going into. There was an understanding about financials, right? That you guys that there was going to be some financial exchange for your hard work, and for Ayinde's hard work as well. You got, and of course, I'm just going to say this piece. I don't mean to jump. If I sound like I'm jumping ahead, I'm just trying to say the grounds of this story, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have this financial understanding of what's going on. The party happens, but it's not as great of a turnout. Let's just say, quote unquote. I've heard different. I've heard some people say it was whack as hell, and some people were like, "Yo, man, I had a great time. I don't know what y'all talking about. I had a great time. It is what it is." So that happens.
The confusion. Let me
go ahead.
Between some people having a great time and others not. I mean, that's very simple, right? We know what that is that different people have different values. So for some people, it was a great time. Maybe they're not used to going out. Maybe that was their one time out. They were just happy to see the Fresh and Fit team there, maybe a couple of girls. There was some food, drinks, and they had a great time. Whereas other people who are used to Miami-styled, whether it be clubs or parties, are used to a certain standard. This didn't meet up to that standard, so therefore it was, a failure. So some people might consider it, cool, but I think that most people realize that it was a failure.
Gotcha. Okay, so majority of people thought it was a failure. You saw for yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I agree. The Pioneer just said that's a good point. There it is. He said that's a good point, given the fact that the people who are in Miami, right, are going to see it a little bit differently than the rest of us average bears that don't live in Miami and are not used to that huge, in your face, lifestyle type thing, right? So a lot of people will sit there and go, man, this was lit. I'm from Atlanta. I had a great time. It was lit, right? Or I'm from this small town in wherever, and I had a blast, right? But then there's other guys going, hey man, I spent some money to see a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Money that they were charging too.
right. So let me ask you this before we jump into all that.
Mhm.
In your own personal opinion, do you think that the party was a success?
Okay. Let me answer it like this. Based upon Myron's metric for success or for what he was looking for the party, then it was a super failure. But if you're asking my own personal thoughts, I would say that I would say it was okay.
Mm.
It was okay. Yeah, overall it was definitely a failure, but not to the level and degree that all the nonsense that came from Myron, it was not warranted or justified at all. Like it was not. And even though it was an actual failure, really the real issue, which we'll get into, that I had with the entire situation is that he tried to pin it on me. Well, me and Allende, but I'm going to specifically talk about me.
Right.
Trying to pin it on me when him and I both know that wasn't the case on a personal level. I can't prove that because I don't have, I'm not going to, let's just say I can't prove that he thinks that. But what I can prove is all of the conversations leading up to that, where it was very well known and clear that I had nothing to do with the outcome of the party or how it goes or the planning of it or anything. His sole reason for pinning it on me and Allende was just to, I guess, railroad us to make himself look. And it's like, it was for him to specifically like put off accountability on himself.
Right.
Like it wasn't his fault, it's ours.
So yeah, he was using you guys as scapegoats, basically. He was just basically like, hey, look over here, it's not over here. Look over there.
Exactly.
Your fault, not mine.
Mhm.
Guys, fam, whatever he would call his people. Hey, whatever happened here had nothing to do with me. It was all on these guys' hands. If you have any problems with the situation, go and talk to them. Go and answer to them.
Exactly.
And all that. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add in. I was just going to chime in.
Go ahead.
It's we'll get into it, but just to fast forward a little bit, just to say this one statement. The funny part is, did you watch? Well, let me ask you a question. Did you watch their live stream that was like 5 hours long, where they go over all of their
everything?
Yep.
Yes.
You watch it? Okay.
I was in and out. I was in and out quite a bit, but I was watching. I was definitely watching
the majority of it as well, or a lot of it, as I was in and out also. However, one thing that I noticed, and I'm going to ask you if you noticed this as well. I've asked everyone this, and when I say this, it's going to click a light bulb like, whoa, wait a minute. This is, even the most diehard Fresh and Fit fan cannot deny what I'm about to say.
Okay, drop it, baby.
Here we go. If you watch their live stream, notice that every single person that they had allegations against, or every single allegation that they brought up, they showed some kind of proof for, screenshots, or something. Even if they twisted the story or whatever, the way that they spin their lies, they at least had some kind of proof or evidence to try to substantiate their claims, right? They did that with every single person except for one person, me. When they played my video, they showed zero evidence, zero screenshots, zero anything. The only thing they showed was Myron showing a screenshot of his CashApp showing that he had paid Allende and paid me. No context to what he had paid me for. He could have paid. I could have gave him $200 in cash, and he just CashApped me $200 because he needed. Like, there's no context whatsoever of why he paid us or whatever. I'm not saying that he illegitimately paid us or anything, and that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just getting people's minds to think. Like, they put zero receipts, zero screenshots, and refuted zero of my claims or of any of my evidence in my video. But yet, in my video, there's a mountain of evidence, screen recordings, screenshots, voice recordings, and all that. And not one piece of that was refuted. So even the most diehard Fresh and Fit fan has to say, oh man, that's a little suspicious.
Yeah, that's a little suspicious for sure. I mean, because you're right. They came in with all kinds of receipts and proof or voice voice notes or voice recordings or anything. I mean, that from Allende all the way down to Gray. You know what I'm saying? Just receipt upon receipt upon receipt that could pose conflict. You know what I mean? For reasonable doubt. You know what I'm saying? It just leaves grounds for that possibility of, you know, maybe that person isn't telling the truth on this and blah blah blah. But when it came to you, yeah, you're actually right.
Exactly.
Right. There was really no receipts on you.
I watched it, two times and not one piece of evidence. Not only that, but here's another thing to think about. Everyone else that has been making these allegations or claims or what have you, I'm not going to speak on whether any of it is true or not, because I don't care. I'm not here to expose them. That's not what I'm doing this for. I was in the beginning here to clear my name, and if they so happen to get exposed by the truth, then, you know, through collateral damage, then hey, that's on them. They shouldn't have told lies on me or made up anything or whatever the case is. That, you know, that's on them. However, I will say this though. Not only that, but here's the other thing to consider. Me and myself and the Yinde are the only two people that can not only show all this mountain of evidence, but we can speak to their character. Why? Because we directly worked with them. These are people, I'm not saying they're my best friends, and I know
you guys are making business transactions, and so you guys are working closely together as colleagues.
His character, like if you tell me, hey, Myron was caught doing X, Y, and Z, I would say, you know what? Myron doesn't seem like the person to do X, but he does seem like the person to do, seems like the type of person to do Y. You know, like I can speak on that. And I'm very objective, rational, and logical about things. That's, you know, no one can say that about me, that I'm hyper objective. I can say the good points about them and the bad.
Gotcha. And that's what happens with any business, right? Any business transaction. There's the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, and all that stuff. There's obviously that too.
Because a lot of people might think that I'm coming from a hater point of view, not realizing that like I'm hyper objective. Everyone else might be hater, like, oh, you know, all these bad stuff. No, I'm like, I don't care good or bad either way. Clear my name, truth gets out, hey, that's on them.
Okay.
But
So then, let's get in there, okay? Because there's a lot of people out here that will sit there and go, hey, you're just, you know, you're doing this just to clout.
Clout chase.
Clout.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? How do you respond to that?
I'm gonna respond to that right now. I'm gonna change this slide. Give me 1 second to grab a battery. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Where is this?
Changing the battery, y'all.
Yes. So as far as clout chasing goes, grab this. All right, there we go. Much better. Yes, now I can see.
All right.
There we go.
So,
as far
as the clout chasing thing goes, people who sit there and go, well, you put out these videos right at the time when they're, you know, things are going kind of in a downward spiral for them. Why do it now and why not before, when they were at the 100,000 K and all these accusations came out then? So what do you say about that?
Simple, easy. Here's the thing. I didn't know about any of this until just recently. The people who, so there's a group of people who went to the party. They paid $500 each to go to the party. They're the VIP members, right? All right. Now, they're the ones who, some of them, not all, feel like they were scammed out of their money because of reasons we'll get into. But I'm just answering this clout chasing question first.
Right.
Okay. They contacted me last week. Before last week, I didn't even know anything about this at all. Now, so when all of this ABBA and Preach or, you know, the Anaquin Fitness or any of these other people that are creating all these allegations were going on, you know, last week, I saw all of that. Yeah, I saw some of it on, you know, YouTube or whatever. And people did slide in my DMs trying to, you know, get my thoughts on it or whatever. And I ignored every single DM, none of it. If I wanted to clout chase or expose them or what have you, wouldn't I have just done it then? Like, wouldn't that be the most perfect opportune time? Instead, I didn't do any of that. I didn't wait. I got contacted by the actual VIP members on, I think it was Friday. I'd have to double check to make sure. I think it was Friday. And then that same day, I was going to call up Myron and handle this behind the scenes, not even make any videos about it or anything. Until before I got off the phone with one of the VIP members. It was me, Allende, and VIP member on a three-way call. Because they contacted me and I didn't respond to any of their DMs because I thought they were talking about the drama and the beef going on with Abba and Preach, and I just wanted to stay away from it. I didn't care about it. It has nothing to do with me. Allende did respond to their DMs and then called me when he found out what I'm about to tell you, which is that once I was three-wayed on the call, I'm then find out that they're making claims that they blamed us for the party, which I already knew, but they didn't give me a reason as to why. And that, you know, we had some mishandlings with the money. So that's why they're coming to us about these $500 each from the VIP members. And I was like, wait a minute, what? That's crazy. First of all, we had no dealings touching the money or anything. That has nothing to do with us whatsoever. So my first thought was, let me call up Myron and clear this up. Before I even get off the phone with them, I make certain to ask a very important question. I said, hey, do you have any proof to substantiate these claims? Because there's a lot of allegations going on Fresh and Fit. And I'm the type that I need proof or evidence before I move forward on something. Otherwise, I'm just going to think it's hearsay, ignore this, and move on with my life, right?
Right.
These people, this person then plays a recording, a voice recording of Myron, clear as day, substantiating this claim, saying that, yeah, we were blamed for the party, and that I even personally gave misinformation to my promoter and my guy that was supposed to bring the girls, and that there was money issues dealing with us and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's no reason. I have no reason to call Myron now at all. I have all the proof I need in the world. You're full of shit, dude. Right. That's
you know it, yeah, and that whole voice recording is absolutely insane too. And you showed in that video exposing, when you're exposing everything, and of course you've gone and done other videos, just making your claims, making your point in your side of the story crystal mother loving clear, with receipts and all that as well. Now, okay, so go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that in comparison to everyone else, I have came with the most receipts. Why? Because I'm that type of person. I don't want to make any claims or anything or say anything that like I can't back up with facts or evidence or, just seem like I'm hating or clout chasing or what have you.
Yeah. No. And I understand that. And I appreciate you being very, very clear and very articulate about this situation, especially with that question, because, everybody and their mom is going, oh, y'all trying to clout chase, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, wait a second. There's a lot of things that are going on on the back end of this that we don't know. We don't know the full scope of this. And so we got to talk about this. But we got to keep it moving.
Okay,
Let me ask you this. So have you had any people actually really hit you up in some sort of threatening way?
Threatening way?
As far as the money goes, or have they just sat there and said, hey, the guys from Fresh and Fit say you owe us this money, and that was it? Or have people actually threatened you with lawsuits, physical threat, anything like that?
I see what you're asking. I'm gonna say no. Not to my knowledge, not that I can recall. No, I don't think so. No actual straight up threats to me personally. I can't speak for Yene because he's in the same boat. But to me, threats? No, I don't think so. Oh, has this been frozen? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you repeat that again? My whole Wi-Fi just shut off. You see how I froze there?
Yeah.
Can you say that again for me?
Yeah, I was just, long story short, I was just saying no, not to my knowledge, not that I recall, was I being threatened about the money. I can't speak for Allende, even though we're in the same boat. He's had his own separate conversations and DMs and messages, but as far as I go, no. It's it was just enlightening.
Okay. Then the other question, of course, I might be jumping the gun a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Actually, before I actually ask that question, so then if no one's really said anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one's threatened you. No one's threatened to go after your pockets. No one's threatened your life. No one said anything like this. Why bring it up in the first place? Why come out and talk about it? If it's just if it's just a fib, if it's just like a little lie, and you keep it moving, it's not changed your pocket. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't changed the thickness of your pocket.
No, that's not true.
You're not spending money out. Oh, okay.
That's not true.
Like I said, this is what I mean by we want to understand what's really going on, because if there's something else going on, then that might be the reason why that would inspire you to get in front of a camera, edit, show all these receipts, right? Not just, oh, these guys are saying, this is all hearsay, whatever, and it's just water under the bridge. If it's something that's much bigger than that, this is why we're talking about it right now.
I got you, no problem. So now, first of all, I want to start off by saying it's not really that deep. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
But I'll tell you exactly what the situation is. Two things. The first thing is this. The first time, Myron chose anything that happens with the Fresh and Fit brand is happening because of Myron, right? He is the captain of that ship, and what he says goes. Okay, cool. Now, he chose to not handle our situation, the situation that me and him had, in private. He chose instead to handle it publicly, when he could have chosen to handle it privately by calling me and clarifying a situation moving forward. So he chose to not handle it privately first. That's on him. Okay, I'm talking about when we first were working with each other and then had to go our separate ways. He went on air to tell lies and to bash my name, calling me ad hominems, like, oh, I'm dead weight, and they fucked up the party, and like they were useless, etc. Not only did I deliver on every single deal that we did have in place, I over-delivered on that. So, and then when I spoke to him in private after he had, so he goes ahead and bashes me, right?
Right.
I wait a couple days to see how things go. His fans, of course, attacked me and all that. You know how the Fresh and Fit people are. Some of the super fans. So I then call him a few days later. He doesn't answer. Okay, cool. So I'm like, I guess he's just not going to be a man about this, not even want to talk about this, even after the fact, after he's already attacked me publicly. He does call me back, though. So he calls me back and we're talking on the phone. And I bring up all of this. I'm like, yo, you're preaching to be a man and like be of the manosphere and RP and all this type of stuff, being alpha, but yet you chose to handle our situation like a straight bitch, right? I told him that straight like that. I'm like, yo, you could have just called me and we could have handled this behind the scenes or what have you. And, you not had to go about and tell lies like, oh, I'm dead weight and all this. And he doesn't apologize for any of that to me on the phone because he's not the type to apologize, but he doesn't deny what I'm saying either, if you see what I'm saying. He's that type of person where he can't apologize for something, but he won't like disagree with it either. You know what I mean? So anyways, so that's the first thing. Now here's the second thing. The second thing is this, as far as it actually hurting my pockets. Remember, so with this whole situation, you have people that are now disgruntled thinking that they got scammed out of $500 each. Yeah, you could say, oh, it's just a lie or whatever. But now those people are perpetuating, not on purpose, but they're having their minds a certain type of lie about me, which speaks of and my business as a professional photographer and videographer in Miami, the same place that Fresh and Fit is, also in Miami, right? Now you combine that with the fact that Fresh and Fit are still going behind my back like I don't know this, because they're talking to people that I also know. We know some of the same people. I'm not going to name names because, for obvious reasons, but we talk. So they're still talking shit behind my back, slandering my name and all that, ruining business opportunities for me behind my back, but publicly saying that they're not. So, okay, cool. Now when I find out and I get hard proof evidence, not hearsay, not people coming back to me that I even trust or whatever, tell me, but hard proof evidence of this, no, yeah, you're getting blasted for that. That needs to end right then and there, because I cannot have people continuously attacking me and my character when it affects my business. So, yeah, that's what it is.
So then there it is. Okay, cool. So it is affecting you, of course, in a way, because it is still your name. And at the end of the day, it's your rep. And what do we got? All we got is our rep. At the end of the day, all we got is our name. And when that gets tarnished, yeah, that's going to piss a couple people off, right? It's going to piss somebody off. It's going to make somebody want to get in front of a camera and go, okay, I got receipts, y'all. Here's the truth of everything. Now, since then, right? Since you brought out this video, actually, before I do that, the $500, right? It was $500 for VIP and $100, right, to just be in the room, right?
It was either 1 or 200. I don't remember, but 1 or 2.
Somewhere around around the realm of $100 to $200 just to be in the building. Okay, do you think those were fair prices, regardless of the turnout of the party?
Absolutely not. As a great brother named Ayinde, aka Authentic Alpha, says, which I completely agree with him, why the hell are you charging your loyal subscribers for a celebration of reaching 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel? You should make it free. It should be something that you're gifting to people, not trying to monetize off of your subscribers. $500 for a party, $100 for a party, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Imagine you, the Pascal show, right? Reach your 100,000 mark, and you throw a party, or what have you, or you have a celebration stream, or what have you. Which one would make more sense for you? For you to go ahead and charge people hundreds of dollars just to join your stream or your party or what have you, and they have to fly out and all this type of stuff and promises that is gonna flop? Or does it make more sense for you to do something where you give back to your loyal subscribers to show your appreciation for reaching 100,000 subscribers? That you're helping your supporters. You know, they're already supporting you.
Absolutely, I agree. It doesn't make any sense. And of course, there are other ways of. I mean, yes, I think the party should be open to show. In my personal opinion, it should be a party that opens, and it should be open to show gratitude for the people that have been there to support you and have your back no matter what. And the thing is that you can always, if you're really concerned about making the monies, right, securing them bags, right, and then you have merch available, or you have other things that gets people there to actually consume and buy your particular product or something. So then you make some money. Yeah, it may not be tens of thousands of dollars, you know, because you're spending. Some of these guys are spending $500. Sometimes it's the last dollar they got in their bank account just so they can be in the VIP spot with you with a bevy of women. Yeah, you're not making those tens of thousands of dollars, but you're at least making something, and you're at least walking away with something for your hard work. But the party should be for those people and saying thank you. No, thank you.
Exactly.
When it came to the video, after you did the video, right? After you did the first video with Ayinde, right? What was the initial reaction? Like, were you seeing anything? I mean, I understand that you've been doing your circle, your media circle. You know, what I'm saying? You've been doing the journey, getting interviewed on different platforms and whatnot. But as far as the initial reaction, have you been catching a lot of heat from Fresh and Fit fans, or whatever?
Definitely rocked some kind of boat, because there was both ends of the extreme. People that loved it and were really happy to see some of their suspicions confirmed of Fresh and Fit, especially coming from two people who used to work with them as team members. Mind you, keep in mind this, that when people break up, you can say, oh, they're like disgruntled employees, even though I was never employed by Fresh and Fit. But people can think, oh, they're disgruntled employees or what have you. But anyone knows when you're a leader of a business, when you're an actual leader of for other men or other people, anything that happens under your business, the accountability falls upon solely you. Sure, yes, there might be areas where, you know, there's failures or what have you, and I'm not saying that those areas are me. I'm just using this as an example. But the accountability is supposed to fall on you for messing up your leadership, especially when it comes to your team members. If there's anybody you want to treat good, it's your team members. But I'm just saying this to illustrate this. Think about the way in which they have treated their subscribers, whether it be with this party, charging them for the party, or whether it be not giving them a refund and, quote unquote, as some people feels, scamming them out of their money, $500 each. Think about the way in which they treat some of the women that come onto their show, or that would like to come on their show, such as Anna Quinn Fitness. No matter which way you want to look at it, at the end of the day, the dude did try to Harvey Weinstein a girl. It doesn't matter if you're a diehard Fresh and Fit fan. There's no way you can disagree with that. Literally tried to say, hey, give me some, some good, for this collab. Okay.
Right.
Lastly, think about the way in which they treat or have treated their team members. We just so happen to be the ones to speak out. Something tells me, there's a little funny little feeling I have that tells me that in the future you might see more team members coming out or expressing their grievances.
Right. Well, okay. So, obviously with this party, it obviously is a very interesting thing, but I do got to ask you this. Okay. Obviously you did the video with Ayande. And of course you saw the video where he allegedly kicked the door open, right? Which he clearly did not.
Yeah. I mean, he also
let me ask you,
opening the door.
Right. He just opened the damn door. He turned the knob and it was unlocked. Okay. I didn't see no boots to the door, but I do have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is this. Did he tell you he was going to do that? Did you have any idea that he was going to go up to the door, open it up, that kind of thing, and do that video? Because I mean, he's been on the show. We've already talked about that side, and I'm not trying to throw shade on Ayande at all. But I'm curious. Did he tell you? Did he hit you up and say, "Hey, man, I'm about to do this because I'm so pissed off and I can't take this ish no more. Let's go. I'm going up. You coming with me or no?" Did he invite you?
All right.
Did you get the call or no?
I'm gonna have to answer that by saying no comment. That seems like it could potentially be a legal issue, and I don't want to comment on anything that's going to be like a legal issue. So no comment on that. What I will comment on though is Myron explicitly saying that he did kick in the door, that CSI came to check the door locks and all that, and showing all this proof to his loyal subscribers, which was once again he got clearly in 4K caught in a dead lie when Ayinde shows that he just opened the door.
Yes. I mean, it was clear as day. He did not kick the door open. The lock was not busted. I remember him saying that. We watched it as well. And he was sitting there saying, hey, the door is busted, etc., blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty crazy to me as well. I mean, like I said, with this whole thing, as far as the money debacle and him trying to throw you guys under the bus. And of course, still over and over and over again, we are hearing or showing or seeing, proof that these things are kind of tall tales that he's kind of formulating and pulling out of his ass just to save his own ass, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
If he was to turn to you and try to make amends with you, is there any grounds for you guys to bury the hatchet and be cool again?
You're saying Myron?
Yes, Myron. Yes, or and Fresh, and Fresh Prince. He's part of it too, right?
All right. So I'm gonna have to answer those two separately. I'm not gonna answer them as Fresh and Fit as a whole. Fresh and Fit as a whole. Yes, I am not a very vindictive person. Okay, I'm not gonna super hold a grudge. As a matter of fact, after this podcast with you, I'm probably only ever gonna speak about this situation maybe one more time. Maybe one more time. So really, I'm not the type to hold a grudge or be vindictive. So that's Fresh and Fit as a whole. But let me answer it individually. When it comes to Myron specifically, he would definitely have to come to me and apologize on his public platform the same way that he lied on me on his public platform. And he'd have to apologize on his public platform, saying, hey, I'm sorry for making up those lies, and all the things that he said or did or whatever that has to be wrong me. Now he does that. We'll be cool. No problems, no issues. And let's just leave it at that. Now, as far as Fresh goes,
okay.
How do I want to answer this?
Honestly, that's how you should answer.
Honestly, yeah. So if I'm truly deep down honest on the inside, the same thing I've been saying from the beginning, I'll repeat again. I had zero smoke for Fresh. Zero. He's just a follower. Myron is the leader. Fresh is the, he goes along.
He's along for the ride.
He's along for the ride. Okay, so I understand that Fresh is not the mastermind. I don't think he's the mastermind behind a lot of what goes on there. It's definitely Myron, right? Now, with that being said, he did on that stream in 4K made up ridiculous lies that had not been made up before.
Right.
And him doing that definitely makes me think about him in a new light, in a way I never thought about him before when I knew him, when I was around them every other day or what have you, right? So with that being said, he would have to not only apologize publicly, but he'd also have to talk to me in person too, or on the phone or something. He'd have to like specifically talk to me. Myron, he doesn't have to talk to me. He could just apologize publicly and that'd be the end of that. And cool. I see him. We're gonna see each other. Even after we stopped working with each other, I've seen Fresh and other members of the team, here and there, even gave them that,
Yeah.
respect, kept it, cool, and went our separate ways. Myron can just apologize publicly, it'll be all good. Fresh has to apologize publicly and has to call me. You got to call me.
That's what's up. Okay. And that's fair enough. I mean, because if there's grounds for making things cool, right?
Mhm.
Making things copacetic between you guys, especially when you guys live in the same damn city, you guys would seem like things were going very well.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's nice to know that there's room for redemption here. That you guys can have a moment of clarity and actually like move on from this. And even so, I agree. You are the last interview I have on this story. I'm closing this unless something big happens, unless you guys like just happy as pigs and clean shit out of nowhere, then cool. But other than that, this is this is the last final story of on this particular platform. And again, of course, like I said, thank you so much for being on too, and telling this. But real quick, we skipped a part, and I wanted to go back on that really quick. Okay, so after the party, right? The party's over. How did they let you go? How did you get fired? We missed that part. I want to know how that happened, because it seemed like it just came out of nowhere. The party was not that great of a turnout in the perspective of certain people. And then the next day, you just got axed. I mean,
Yeah. So this is what happened. So the party was not a good turnout. And Myron at the party, he comes up to me and he's like, yo, Larj, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so upset. Your guy didn't show up with the girls and, blah, blah, blah. And he was just being like super emotional, which is funny because he says that, to think with logic and reason, not emotion. But anyways, so I repeat to him the same thing that he repeated to me, which is that regardless, that him and I know that this is not my fault. It's not my issue that the girls didn't show up or whatever. I don't know how much you know about the story because we didn't go over it in detail on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
However, make a long story short, to make it quick, he specifically told me when he came to me with the deal to let's say facilitate the girls, he specifically told me that, hey, he will pay me to find a guy to bring girls, like a promoter guy to bring girls. And he would pay that promoter guy per head, per girl that comes. Cool. I say to him, this was 2 days before the party. He tells me this 2 days before the party. I say, I don't say anything to him. He can clearly see it on my face that I'm a little bit reluctant. Why? Because I've thrown parties before. Getting 25 to 50 girls to a party that you're asking for 2 days before a party where they never even heard of you or anything. They don't know what Fresh and Fit is or anything. That's just like, it's crazy. And especially on a Saturday in Miami. Come on now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a stretch.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, it's possible, but more of a likely it's not probable. Yeah, let me stop. Anyways,
Yeah, that line.
Yeah, exactly, which came from me.
Yeah, that came from you, bro. I saw that video.
Yeah.
Hilarious, by the way.
So thank you. So anyways, with that being said, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he came to me with that deal, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little reluctant. So he added on to that deal saying that, look, Larj, regardless of if my promoter or my guy that's supposed to bring the girls, whether he brings 5 girls, 50 girls, or 500 girls, it will not reflect poorly upon me, even if he fails. It doesn't matter if he brings 5, 10 girls, 1 girl, no girl show up. It won't reflect poorly on me. My job, simply, I would be getting paid is just to find a guy that could, potentially facilitate the girls. Once I heard that line, I'm like, cool, no problems, great, thumbs up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Now, with that being said, he had so he right then and there has already said that basically I have no responsibility or accountability with how the turnout of this party is. I wasn't involved in any of the planning or anything. So as far as anything dealing with the actual behind the scenes of the party, that was my only involvement. Other than that, I was just there as a guest. So how did we go our separate ways, break up, fired, whatever way you want to call it?
Right.
Party goes bad. He then the next day or 2 days after, I don't remember which one. I have the text message so I could check, but I'm doing this call with you. So make a long story short, he makes a group chat with me and Ayinde, which is Authentic Alpha's the other guy that was supposed to help facilitate girls as well. And so me, Myron, Ayinde, and he sends us this like formal corporate type of message saying something along the lines of, effective immediately, you guys are fired, don't show up to the studio no more. If you do, action will be taken against you if you use our Fresh and Fit brand on anything else, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, what? Word? This is the way you choose to handle it? Like, once again, you could have just called me. We could talk about this. And at the time, he gave no explanation or reason as to why, we were going our separate ways or breaking up like that, right?
Right.
Now I know why it was, is so he could railroad us, for this money, the $500 each, and I guess keep the money or whatever the case is. But at the time, I had no idea. And once again, I didn't really care that much. It's a great platform. I love what they're doing. I would have worked out under better leadership. However, in lieu of everything that I've now seen in their allegations and different things that's going on, it might have been a blessing for us to go our separate ways and for me not to get caught up in any of that stuff. But anyways, hopefully that answers your question. He basically just sent us a text message,
right,
like that.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Also, Ayinde said that they had an agreement on a certain amount, a certain payment, right? And he didn't get his full payment. Did that happen to you too? You get paid in full or for the party?
Yeah,
for the actual party.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let me say two things. Thing number one is me and Ayinde have two totally different deals. So sometimes people get confused. They hear Ayinde speaking about his deal, and then when I go on a podcast, not saying that you're doing this, I'm just saying it has happened before, where I'm speaking about my deal, and then they conflate the two and then say I'm capping or something. No, we have two totally different separate deals. But anyways, to answer your question directly,
they had an agreement. Ayinde and them had their own separate agreement. And then they, on the day that he was supposed to get paid, he didn't get paid his full agreed amount. Did that happen to you? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I can't answer that with a yes or no. I really can't.
Okay, go ahead. Explain.
I'll answer it by saying this, and I'll explain if you want me to why I can't answer it with a yes or no. The shortest answer I could say is I have no money issues with him. So I have no money issues with him. I'm not going to chase him down about any type of money issues or anything. Did he pay me? Yes, he gave me that $200 for a referral for the guy. Is that what we agreed upon? I don't like talking about things that I don't have proof for, and that was a phone conversation. That's one thing that I don't have screenshots or text for. So I'll just say I have no money issues with him. Yeah.
Fair enough. No. Fair enough. Because I know that everyone has different, you have many different moving parts. Everyone has different deals.
Yeah.
Like if some of the girls actually were paid to be there and some girls weren't, that's just kind of how business is. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, right? So I get that piece. I get that piece all day long. So now that you've come out with your own channel and all that, I know you've talked about this before, but what are you planning on doing with your channel?
Oh yes, some really great things. All right. So here we go. On my YouTube, so I'm mostly known for Instagram, right? Like I said, I do professional photography, so I shoot all of the IG baddies, girls who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. Probably some of your, favorite girls. I'm talking to the audience. But anyways, what I plan to do is two main things right now. The first thing is I'm going to showcase, I'm getting a lot of requests for me to talk about photography and my experiences dealing in photography and dealing with some of the models, or showing some of the behind the scenes and that type of thing, right? I live in Miami, so that means 11 months out of the year, we have beautiful women in bikinis, even in the middle of winter, like it's sunny outside. Okay, cool.
Right.
So I plan to showcase all of that. That's the first piece of content. The second piece of content is going to deal more so in the RP community or manosphere world, which is for me to do, whether it be interviews or bring up certain type of questions or topics with guests that are also my models who are really popular as well as, models who are not so popular also, but just beautiful women in general, whether it be girls that okay. So as an example, one video I did was with a girl that I dated. I was dating this girl for a little bit, and I brought her on to do a video where I let her, in her own words, explain what she thought was great about the date and what she thought could have been improved upon the date, and you utilize that as a teaching mechanism to help guys navigate the dating world themselves. So that way they're hearing it that from a woman that I have actually dated, not just theory of, that people are spouting based to girls who were girls that they're not even dealing with, that are invited by other people, et cetera, or any type of fake dating coach or anything like that. No, it's coming directly from the horse's mouth. So content like that. Oh, and the last thing is that if anyone does subscribe to me or checks me out and they like what they see, you guys can suggest me content. I'm in the early stages, so if you suggest me a piece of content, I think it's good and other people gain value from it, I'll do it. No problem. Send me a DM at Larj Studios on Instagram, or send me a comment on YouTube. I don't get enough comments. I get enough comments where I can just read all of them.
Yeah. No, and that's great. That's really great. I think it's a really great idea. I mean, now that you have this platform, you can finally do your own thing, create your own content, tell your side of your perspective in the RP world, the manosphere world as well. Because I mean, we all need different perspectives out here, especially on certain scopes and certain spheres. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool to see that you're going to be jumping in and doing some stuff of your own. You know what I mean? I highly am for that all day long. But you know what? I want to do this before you take off. I want to open up the lines so we can have a quick conversation, quick video chat. Because I know some people have some questions, have some thoughts, have some opinions and whatnot. So please, by all means, guys, if you have a question specifically for myself or Larj, please click on that link that is up at the top of the chat, or it's in the chat as well. Click on that, jump on, and let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I know that some of you guys have some opinions about how things are going. Sorry that the internet is a little choppy right now. Obviously we're dealing with hurricanes and storms galore all over the area right now. So the internet's a little bit choppy, but hopefully you guys can jump on and chop it up, ask some questions, put in your 2 cents. Go ahead,
I see, I'm looking at the chat here. I see some people asking my channel name. My channel name is just at Larj Studios. So that's LARJ and then the word studios.
Yes, please go over there, hit that subscribe button. Also, please, by all means, I see a bunch of people on here, over 120 something people throughout all the platforms that we're streaming on right now. Please hit that like button down below. If you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. That would really, really mean a lot for me as well. All right. And keep the comments going in the chats. That really means a lot as well. But we do have the link. Click on it. Jump on in. You got some questions? You got some thoughts about this whole situation? Love to hear them. We only have a little bit of time, but I figured might as well, cap it off with some comments from the fam. All right. And from the viewers. Go ahead, Larj.
My question to you would be, while we're waiting for people to come in,
sure.
You, as someone who is looking from the outside in, on our entire situation, me, Allende, Fresh and Fit, that whole debacle. 2 things. Thing number 1 is, do you have any questions or anything, that you think a lot of other people might have that I could clarify right now for you? And thing number two is, what are your thoughts on the entire situation?
Okay, I can answer the second one easily. All right. This is what I think. This whole situation has turned into a complete cluster F. All right. It's a kerfuffle. It's the fresh and fit kerfuffle.
Yep.
I think everything has come out almost like in droves. All right. All this information, all the accusations, the receipts, the trying to protect one's name and all that almost all came out at the same damn time. It seemed like last week, every single day, there was a new video or a new post or a new something from somebody saying something. So it was very, very intense. So as far as when it comes to fresh and fit, and I've said this before, well, one, they had it coming. All right. I have to say that.
You saw the signs.
I mean, you know, when you are the loudest, one of the loudest people in the room saying all kinds of crazy stuff. Here's the thing. For me, it'll be considered, in my perspective, it's considered a little crazy. Some of the things that they say is a little extreme, right? But then somebody else will be watching the show and go, "Hey, man, I'm with that. I'm all the way with what he is saying 100%. I agree with that 100%." But, you know, to each their own. Like you said about the guys who are from Miami going to the party, not very impressed by the turnout, but somebody from, you know, some small town in Missouri might go there and go, "Man, that ish was lit, bruh." So it's all about perspective, right? It's all about opinion. But I saw this coming. It was only a matter of time. Because here's the thing. If you have that same behavior on the microphone, 9 times out of 10, right? 9.99999 times out of 10, you have that same demeanor and same attitude off camera as well. And Anna Quinn Fitness was like the first domino, really, to come out months ago saying that he was this type of way. I'm just talking about Myron, at least, right? But then as soon as all this stuff started to unfold and more things, Abba and Preach, like throughout their receipts and their proof of things, it was kind of like, well, hey, man, you know, I get it. Fake it till you make it. I get, you know, walk the walk. But are they really talking the talk? You see what I'm saying? Or are they talking the talk, but are they walking the walk? Right? If you come out with that kind of energy, with that type of, I just feel like it's just negative energy. Eventually, the universe is going to respond back, and it's not going to be pretty. You're going to get your ass exposed. Real talk. Now, there's the other questions. I mean, there's not really any other questions I really have for you in regards to, you know, debunking anything between you and the Fresh and Fit podcast team. From what I've asked you already, and from other interviews, because I've watched a lot of your other interviews as well, and you know me, of course, trying not to say the same things that you've already had asked.
Got it.
But it's hard not to ask the staple things so that people who are watching this show, you know what I mean, may not watch the other shows. So you got to do the full scope of everything, so it's a fair, and balanced interview. But I feel like I got the questions I wanted answered from you in regards to that relationship. But go ahead, Larj.
So with that said, here's my follow-up question to that, which is, now that you understand their point of view and you've seen their stream, and you understand my point of view, and you've seen, you know, some of the things that I've had to say or show, my final question in regards to that would be this.
Okay.
Where do you stand on that line? Do you stand on the line of, hey, you know what, Fresh and Fit, they're just a little bit misunderstood, but they're more right? Or are you on the line of, oh, wow, they really messed up, and this dude or me and Ayinda, or whatever way you want to look at it, they're definitely right. They have all of this mountain of evidence. Damn, you know, where are you on the line?
So Larj, are you asking me if I'm dumb? I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's clear as day that what they did is wrong as hell. All right. And they got a lot of splaining to do. And yes, they did 5 hours of trying to debunk everything. But instead of them trying to debunk everything, yes, they should have gotten in front of all these accusations long ass time ago. They shouldn't have done it in one fell swoop and one show, because it just like I said, it was a kerfuffle. It was 5 hours of just a bunch of BS. All right. But that gave him enough time to come up with his rebuttals. Every time he said that he was I out of line? Sure. There was always a but in it. There was never a
Full
my
account.
bad. I done messed up. I threw these guys under the bus. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize for that. Albert and Preach really were sorry about talking to you guys and about you guys like that and calling you an ape or a monkey or a gorilla. All those things. They just, like I said, it just seems like there was zero accountability, and there's still zero accountability to this day, in my personal opinion. But like I said, I don't watch them like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch that show like that. And the thing is that they have a voice that a lot of people are listening to, whether you think it's for the good or for the bad. I think you just need to take it with a grain of salt. I think that they got to realize that with great power comes great responsibility. This microphone, this machine right here, this device right here can be a very, very powerful double-edged sword. And if you don't play with it right, it will cut you, and it will cut you bad, and it will cut you deep. And the thing is that I think that these guys have been using that microphone to get that booty, okay, to get that na and get that monies. All right. First you get the power, then you get the money, then you get the woman, right? Or something like that. I think I got it mixed up, but you know what I'm saying. Scarface, look it up. But you see what I'm saying. At some point, you got to realize that you can play this all day long and toy around with this energy all day long. But once you start becoming toxic, the energy, the vibration, the world's going to respond back. And it just came as a tidal wave at Fresh and Fit. Now, here's the thing. Doesn't mean that they can't have their platform. They got great production. They got great stuff. Now they just have to make great content. They have to make great messages. And I've said this before. If they just go back into their caves, let it ruminate, smoke on a pipe, drink a beer, whatever the hell it is that they need to do to figure out their stuff, come back out bigger, better, faster, and stronger as a team, and give the right messages, tell the right stories. That's it. Nothing else. And stop screwing people over. And if you mess up and you do something wrong, you take full accountability for it and not throw people under the bus and say that it's everybody else's fault. That's my opinion. I haven't even gotten, I've said it a couple times on the show, but at the same time, I've never really gotten to say it out loud in an interview with somebody who's dealing with this shit. And I'm being real, man. You don't deserve the what you have gone through. I don't blame you for coming out, doing your videos, and throwing out those receipts, because without those receipts, you'd have what? Nothing. So I give you mad props for doing that. Okay? Big props. We got Mike here. Mike Perchik. What's up, man?
Hey, Pascal. Thank you for having me on.
Always, man. Anytime. You know you family. So come on. Where are you watching the show from, by the way?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, ATL. That's what's up. Okay, so tell me, speak on it, man. You got a question? What's up? Thoughts?
Well, I mean, I mostly kind of got the first thing I wanted to talk about before was the Jake Paul fight. But I mean, since this is the topic, I know Larj from watching him on Fresh and Fit and watching him on The Lead Attorney and give his interview there. So, I mean, I've been following it pretty closely, and that's kind of how I found your channel. But I mean, definitely, I got definitely enticed by the whole flash of what Fresh and Fit was.
Right.
You know, and I feel like that can be enticing for people who are making content and trying to get that growth.
Let's be real. That is something that we all wish we had. Let's be straight funky, yo. I watch their stuff and I'm like, damn, this stuff is good. Damn, it's flashy. Damn, those girls are fly as hell. Damn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You're going, wow, this is really great. The platform, what they're doing, the production, the way it looks, all that stuff. And then, of course, you know, it can be bombastic, it's salacious, it's all these different things. Dope. Fantastic. They have something. They caught something that is almost impossible. Lightning in a bottle. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But when you abuse it, it'll bite you in the ass, and it'll bite you in the ass hard. But continue, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I exactly 100% agree. But a big thing that kind of sucked me into that podcast was not necessarily like the hot girls or anything, but it's just the mentality. You know, when Myron spoke of something, especially regarding marriage and fidelity and stuff, it clicked with me because I'm Mexican, right? So in my culture, it's very the man leads, like it has to be that way, you know. Like my mom till this day, she's cooking in the kitchen for my dad, you know. And I had come to pass that mentality because being in America too, you can't be dealing with American women like in that sort of sense, you know. It's a little too forcing. And the thing was that at first when I started watching it, it was just entertainment. They went viral with those 3 girls that were only fan girls, and that's how I came to see them when Kevin Samuels called in and he was roasting them about telling them, well, not roasting them, but just telling them what are you gonna do when your beauty fades, right? OnlyFans is gonna fade. But it was just the fact that I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel alone in my way of thought, because usually growing up, I mean, especially like I was Mexican born, so the way I was thinking was already embedded from my culture, from the way I was growing up, from my father. So I always felt a sort of exclusion in American society. So coming here, listening to these guys who are in Miami, talking to girls, you know, giving these thoughts, you stop feeling alone. Where I messed up though is that I let myself get sucked in because I had matured from that. And I had felt as an 18-year-old again watching these guys. Like the cool thing, the appealing thing is that these guys talk like your friends. You know, they're throwing Naruto hand signatures, you know, they're throwing around the N-word, putting on ninja masks, like all that stuff. And you know, you're just like, okay, these are like my homies. It's a podcast I can enjoy. There's nothing to watch.
Right.
But then you see the true mentality and aspect of that, which is damaging. You know, like the way that I was brought up to think is damaging. It hurt my relationships, even till this day. You know, I was seeing a girl, and I started watching Fresh and Fit, and all these things, you know, that I was like, oh man, so all girls do think like this. And this was a nice girl, man. This wasn't a girl who even thought about being OnlyFans or even getting like her nails done with those long ass claws. Like this was a nice, decent girl. And I think a big deal is that people want the flash and are afraid to embrace the regular life at times. You know, everybody wants to be the showman.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is, you know, that is true. Everybody wants the flash, but nobody wants to put in the time to make the flash happen. Right. Or everybody wants the flash, but they can't handle the response of that said flash. Does that make sense?
Or they can't simply just accept that not everybody's born to be flashy. You know, like there are the guys up top who are that for a reason. And because of social media and whatnot, I feel like it looks more reachable. You know, like I can literally turn on, I mean, I stream on Twitch. I'm not huge or anything. I just do it for fun. But anybody can just hop on and do it. Right. So it's easier now. So people think I can get on it. I can grow like them. But it's not meant for everyone. And I think that's something that people fail to see, that it's just not meant for you. You know, not everybody can be a high value man. That's why there's only 1%.
True. Like you know, not everybody can be a surgeon, you know?
Right.
But then again, not everybody can be somebody who works at McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's levels to everything. There's levels to every freaking thing. But I also do believe that there's a level of, no matter what, regardless of your position at your job or financial, there's a certain level of responsibility that you have to have. And there's a certain level of respect that every single last person deserves, period.
Absolutely. Yep.
And just because you're flashy or just because you have a huge platform and all that stuff does not mean that respect just runs out the door. That's wrong. And that's wrong, and that's not right. Period. But real quick, and I appreciate you being so candid, Mike. I really do.
Thank you for having me on. I've been trying to call in for like the last 2 days.
Well, I'm going to be doing another call in tonight as well. I do have the interview with the gentleman that was the victim of the bagel Karen. We are going on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm back.
For real this time, though.
For real this time.
Last time I asked you 7 p.m. and you said Central.
Yeah, is Central Time, not Eastern.
Gotcha.
Okay. But I do have a super chat I want to throw up here. That's funny. So I'm Rue Foodle. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It said, does Larj believe Fresh is genuine? Does he believe that Fresh is a millionaire and has at least laid 1,000 women. I guess his body count is 1,000. Big time music artist, producer, and Larj, are you a pimp? There you go.
All right. So let's look at this here. Okay. Do I believe Fresh is genuine? That is too general and broad of a question for me to answer, so I'm going to stay away from that. Do I believe Fresh is a millionaire? I try not to go off of. First of all, I want to mention that the name that super chat is sent by is they're trying to
right.
Um,
Right, and yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
yeah, I'm trying not to.
Oh,
You know
got
what I'm saying?
No problem. No problem.
Trying to be safe, but we
Yeah.
get it. We all know what it is.
So
we all know what it is.
do I believe Fresh is a millionaire? I try not to go off of beliefs too much, but with what I think, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. Do I think he has money and makes money? Yeah. You know, from the podcast and their courses that they're selling for $1,000 or what have you. I'm sure they have money, but millionaire, multimillionaire, I don't know about that. Do I believe that he has a music producer? I mean, that's already been debunked, right? You can just Google search him, and there's nothing of that sort. He literally paid for that advertisement slot. And do I believe he has a 1,000 account? Well, according to what has been said online, people are saying that he said like 1,500 or around there. What he told me personally, I think was like, he told me like 1,200, 1,300, somewhere around there. And the same thing I told him in person is the same thing I'll say right here on this live, right? That I told him straight to his face. I said, yo, it's very difficult for me to believe. Fresh, you are younger than me. We're about the same age, and he's a little bit younger than me. This is not me to gloat or anything, but I have met very few men who have a higher notch count than me, especially at my age. So for you to more than double my notch count, and I know what I have to do or the type of person that I am or the things I'm involved in, for me to be able to have that type of, for you to have a notch count double mine's means that you had to have like a new partner every 2 or 3 days. You had to have a new girl, a brand new girl every 2 or 3 days. Like that is ridiculous.
You busy.
Now, there are some people that can achieve that kind of status. I'm sure certain type of celebrities or ball players are just super playboys, you know, like that. But yeah, so no, I don't believe.
I mean, unless he's scooping up like threesomes and foursomes in one sitting. I mean, come on, that's a whole lot of work, baby.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of bloody work. We got another super chat. Tyler Hackner, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He said, great discussion. Also, thanks for having me on earlier this morning. Anytime, my brother, you know you family. Thank you again for the $5 super chat. Hey, everybody who's watching right now, please go hit that like button down below. I see over 100 some odd, 20 some odd people up in this piece. Hit that like button down below. Get that past 100 likes. That would really, really mean a lot to me and to my guest, Larj. We also have the information man in the house. What's up, man? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing fine, brother. It's good to see you on again. I'm always catching you these days.
Yeah, man.
I just want to make a couple of comments. Unless your ass is Wilt Chamberlain, you're an athlete or someone on that level, you ain't got access to those many women. Nah. Unless you on that high level of athletic, celebrity or what have you. Let's stop kidding ourselves. And to the young man, Mike, I heard him on here say, well, and this is constructive criticism, but it ain't really criticism. I heard you say, well, I'm not high value. That's only 1% of society. Dude, you are high value. The fact that you're on this earth and your parents gave birth to you and you're living your high value.
Yeah.
Value is about how many cars you have, how much money you have, and women you have. Guess what? You can lose your money tomorrow. Everything that you worked hard. I know people that had money and they lost that money. Does that now make you no longer high value because you no longer have the money, when all we're doing in this society is making value based on materialistic things? That shit can be taken away from you at any time. So high value is a mindset that you have, how you carry yourself, your confidence, and then everything else that you get, like cars, women, is just a perk that comes with it. We got to get out of these goofy ass labels, brother.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and that's why I'm saying I kind of got. I mean, I would say, I mean, it wouldn't be like I have to take accountability. Like I'm the one who clicked the video, but the thing is that you do cause confusion, right? I mean, they do, and you start hearing, I mean, just that high value men this, high value men that, and I just like watching that from February up till now, it gets in your head. You know, you start thinking like, how can I make more money? How can I do this? And that's the thing. And I don't know if you saw my comment earlier on the chat, but I had said that watching Fresh and Fit reverted me to thinking again like an angry 18-year-old, because that's how I thought at 18.
Okay, so
I'm 25 now, and I had progressed so much to think better and exactly what you said. But just from watching that, you know, you start, like I said, these guys sound like your friends and all. And I mean, it's my fault for getting influenced too. I've been told my whole life, don't believe everything you see, and you know, all that stuff. But I agree, it's a mindset. Absolutely.
Yeah. But so, you know, the thing is yes. If you're okay, I'm gonna be real, all right. And Larj, you know, maybe you can agree with me, maybe not. I don't know. But here it is. When it comes to, I feel like, okay, like I said, not trying to throw their show under the bus, but I feel you got to take it with a grain of salt. All right. Yeah. If you're consuming that kind of stuff every single day, it's like listening to Rush Limbaugh. Okay. At some point, you're going to start thinking that way and feeling that way. And you're going to be like, F them, America. Right. So you start listening to Fresh and Fit, and all you're listening to is Myron, and he's saying, oh, you know, if a girl does this to you, blah, 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 this is how you get back at them. You make sure that they pay. It's like, what? Wait, they paid for what they did to you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a second. Not everything has to be so much venom and vitriol. You see what I'm saying? What about being a good human being and taking the high motherfucking road? Sorry for cursing, but at the same time, why not take the high road instead of going, oh, let's just low blow so that you feel on top, so you feel like a quote unquote high value man. To me, a high value man does not do that. A high value man takes the high road. A high value man does not lash out and do these elementary immature acts of vengeance. For what reason? What is that going to do for you? At the end of the day, you're only going to look bad because these girls talk, and these streets do talk. The streets talk, especially the ones that they say are for the streets. They're the ones talking the most. So when you sit there and you're going, you know, and Mike, I say this because I need to piggyback off of Information Man, what he just said. It's hard facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a mentality. It's not only just the money in your pocket. Yes, make sure you got money in your pocket. Damn it, guys. Damn. Okay. Don't fake the funk. Like, okay, last night, I'm going to tell you what happened to me last night real quick. All right. So the reason why I didn't have a show last night was because out of nowhere, I'm out with my fiance, having some appetizers and all that, meeting up with some family. And I'm at this rooftop spot, and all of a sudden, this guy comes over because, you know, I'm trying out this new liquor, okay, called Branson. All right. And so I'm like, oh, this is kind of good. And this guy just jumps out of his seat and he's like, oh yeah, you know, hey, I'm one of the ambassadors of this thing, and we doing this big ass party right out in this patio. 50 Cent gonna be here. What? Excuse me? Yeah, 50 Cent gonna be here. So click, drag, a couple of hours later, we're out there, we're hanging out with 50 Cent, enjoying these drinks, talking, blah, blah, blah. One of my good friends, you know, hilarious comedian Darius Bradford, is at the party as well. And we're sitting here, and he's written for like Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, you name it. He's done all kinds of stuff. Check him out. He's hilarious. But anyway, he's up there and we're chopping it up. And I said something and he caught me slipping because I was like, damn, you know, like, you know, because they're like, oh, you know, I was just talking about how like he's around all these people and, you know, all these girls are flocking to him and everything. And I'm like, damn, you know, I don't have $1 million, you know, so of course he's not going to be wanting to sit and talk with me all day long. He's like, whoa, wait a second. Hold up. Shut the hell up. Nah, it's how you think. You are already losing by thinking that you are not worth $1 million. Yeah, right, yeah. 50 Cent has sold water for 80 billion mother-loving, you know, oyster crackers, okay? But at the same time, he had to have that mentality to get there, right? He had to believe that he was worth that value. All these guys who are high-value men didn't suddenly just wake up one day and say, wake up with the freaking money that they got. They worked their dicks off to get to, and women, Their ovaries off. They worked their naughty bits off to get where they needed to get to, right? It's not automatically like you woke up. Some of them, there's nepotism, they're born with it and all that stuff. True, too. That's true. But I'm just saying, the people who are self-made, they wake up believing that they're $1 million. They wake up believing that they're high value men, and they prove it by putting in the damn work. You see what I'm saying? They put the hips to it. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we can sit here all day and go and listen to Fresh and Fit, and maybe that's a message that they're not picking up and putting into the ears of their listeners right now. Maybe that's why all these men are feeling some type of way, and these guys are all grumbly and angry right now because they're not hearing the belief that they can be that guy themselves too. They're just going, oh, look at the McLarens and the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and the bad bitches. Oh, I can't even get that. Oh my God. No, you do, man. It's all about here. It's right here, baby.
Yeah.
It's all mentality.
I can actually speak on this as well. Through experience. And I'll say this. So, anyone that knows me knows I'm highly logical, rational, that type of person or what have you, right? But I'm also very confident, extremely confident. I think I can do anything that I want to do if I really put the time, effort, and energy into something I can make happen. So here's something to think about, right? Let's say, see, I'm a photographer, right? That's what I do. I don't know necessarily what you do, Mr. Mike. But what I do is photography. So when I reach out to a Kevin Samuels or the Fresh and Fit podcast or what have you, I could say that, hey, Kevin Samuels, he's an image consultant and popular YouTuber. There's no reason why he would want to work with me. I'm just a photographer who works with a bunch of popular models. Like, there's a million photographers out there that, do what I do. And why would he pick me instead of, or I could have that perspective, that way of thinking, or I could have the way of thinking of saying, which is just a super logical way of, hey, it's a numbers game. I could shoot my shot, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then great, right? That's just a strict, no emotion, logical way of thinking. That's usually how I think. Or there's the complete opposite end, which is saying, oh, I know I'm the shit. I know I'm super good. He's definitely going to pick me one. Really, there's like a almost a Buddhist way of thinking, which is kind of like the middle way, which is saying that, you don't want to think nearly on the either end of the extremes. Instead, it's a little bit better to just look at things like the way that they actually are. So I don't know what it is that you do or what have you, but to count yourself out in your mind before putting the actions into the real world to see if something can manifest, really, you're doing yourself a disservice. And it's like you're cutting off your potential before you even had the chance to actuate it. So think, once again, that goes for Kevin Samuels, the Fresh and Fit,
for everyone.
But that have millions of followers or any other opportunities that may or may not fall into my lap.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say one thing because I got to go, but I do martial arts, so patience, all that stuff. Like I do it, whenever I'm sparring with someone, you have to kind of think, the art of war, like Sun Tzu, you have to know your enemy. So I definitely agree. What I want to say though, regarding Fresh and Fit is, and like how Information Man said, is I got caught up in labels, something that martial arts itself helped me, move away from, because, on the mat doesn't lie. You're going to get there and you're going to get submitted, you're going to get punched, but the point is about getting back up and, continuing through that. But basically it's just, I got caught up in labels, and I got caught up in the flashiness of the outrage of because, you don't see, like, I'm not going to see Pascal here kick out a girl or nothing, and that was just, not yet, hopefully, right? But, that was just something you didn't see. So at first, I obviously just watched it for entertainment, because in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to fall for this. When I first started watching them, I even was a little judgmental of their setup, looking at mine, right? And then it got better, and then the message got stronger. But if you do notice, like, Myron repeats himself a lot.
Facts.
On most episodes, he's repeating the same stuff. So if you're hearing the stuff on repeat, right, you're hearing all this stuff. And I the only reason I listened to Fresh and Fit was because it was long podcasts. I work, at home, so I can listen to whatever I want, and it helps me get through the day, because I'm working, and then before I know it, I'm like, oh man, he kicked that girl out, holy shit, But I just think that, like Pascal said, with great power comes great responsibility. like you said, you know, it's about that mindset, and like how Information Man said, we can't get caught up in those labels. But I really appreciate you guys having me on. I hope to catch the show later tonight.
Yeah,
And,
keep this in mind before you leave. That when you look at these programs on YouTube, there are some programs that are purely entertainment, and then there's some that are really going to educate you. See, this is the thing that people see. I've been around for a minute. Fresh and Fit ain't doing nothing new. They got a concept that's been around forever. That's called sex sells, and they're doing a great job in how they do it. But this is you're taking a page from Howard Stern, the Howard Stern show, where he would have strippers come on the show, all different kind of women, and it would be wow. I used to remember watching it late at night, and he would have all kind of stuff going on this show. They're just taking a page from that, and they put it on YouTube, and it's working. Just to me, if you got uncles, you got people in your real life, and you're into martial art, you can learn more principles in martial art about being a man than you can listening to goofy people on a show who you don't even know if they're really living that life, man. It's a show. Right, yeah. They're making money. They're promoting themselves. Come on now. We got to use critical thinking skills.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
One more thing before you go, Mike, because I know we all like want to throw in our go show you the way.
Well, I got to go train. That's why I got to head out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But here, real quick, here it is. If you're not self-improving, you're dying. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If you're not self-improving, you're dying. If you feel like every year you look back at your year, like say you have the New Year's Eve, or your birthday's your New Year's Eve, right? That's my New Year's Eve. I look back at my year and I keep looking at, was I moving forward or was I stagnant? And if you are not moving forward and self-improving yourself as a man, right, or as a human being, then you dead. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's it. Self-improve. You will be that high value if you keep playing it like that in your brain. And that's it. My brother, thank you so much for being on, Mike.
Thank you so much, guys. Good luck for everything. Thank you.
All right, man. Peace. Real quick, I got a super chat I just want to say real quick. Red Sings the Blues. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, donation Pascal, sup info man. And I know you already responded, information man. So I gotta wrap this bad boy up.
I'm gonna get ready to get off, but I'm gonna check out your channel, brother. That you're getting ready to lunch. I'm gonna check that out.
Oh, thank you.
Support you. Yeah, keep doing your thing. You know, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody, get you off of your goals, your strategies, what have you. Pascal, thank you, brother. It's great as always. You just keep putting these great shows on and really giving people food for thought. Take care.
Thank you, my brother. Peace. Larj, I want to say thank you so much for being on. Actually, I got to put on the themes music. What else is new? You know what I mean? Because it ain't a show if there's not theme music going on. There it is. Yes. Larj, thank you again for being on. I really do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say, like, many I want to say good luck to you in your endeavors, because you're starting something new. You're going to do your thing. Keep kicking ass and taking names. You know what I'm saying? And I might be down in Miami at the end of September. So it'd be great to meet you face to face, because it looks like I'm going to be doing some work with Allende.
Yeah, for sure. Last thing I just want to say thank you, Pascal, for having me on the show, reaching out, whether it be that you wanted to, cover the story, hear my perspective, and be able to objectively look at things and say, hey, you know what? This is all of the information. Let me put it together before formulating an opinion or a consensus or what have you. So one, thank you. Two, thank you to all of your viewers, everyone that is viewing this right now live, all of the comments, whether they were positive or negative towards me, and anyone that might be watching this replay on YouTube. And lastly, actually, one more shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Shout out to that dude.
Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for setting up a lot of things behind the scenes. Notice there's a reason why I keep shouting him out. He's definitely doing a lot for the community. And everyone else that have had me on their podcasts, such as the Poor Man's Podcast, as well as the Lead Attorney, which was set up by O'Shea Duke Jackson. And the last shout out would be to me. And why shout out to me? The same reason I said for O'Shea Duke Jackson. Why? Because I know I'm going to come with that heat, that fire, that stuff that you guys need. You're going to want to see the hot models in Miami in their bikinis.
Facts.
You want to see the behind-the-scenes shoots when they're in the lingerie. You're going to want to see the models personalized. You're going to want to see the RP truths that come out of them from my interviews with them. You're going to want to see all the content that will be coming forward on YouTube coming soon. YouTube, Larj Studios. Check me out.
There it is, guys. You got to go subscribe to his channel. I guarantee you, and go follow him on IG. He's got some really great content over there as well, mainly over there, but definitely he's going to be pumping out a lot of content. He just put out a video yesterday on YouTube, so go check that out. Consume it with your eyeballs and all that stuff. Real quick, Mercedes, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. Thank you, sweetheart. Another great show. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. It's always appreciated, you guys helping this show. I see a bunch of you guys still here. Before you leave, hit that like button down below. That would really mean a lot to me and to my guest. That would really mean a lot. Also, by the way, Larj, shameless plug, I'm a fan of O'Shea, Duke Jackson. I've been reaching out to him, trying to get him on the show. Would love if it was possible, you could just throw him a bone saying, hey, this dude Pascal wants to rap with you.
You know what? Thank you for having me on the show. The next time that I speak to him, I will definitely bring you up and see what he says about that. Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that, man. Anyway, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all have a wonderful one. I'll see you guys in about 3 hours because I'll be interviewing Vic, the victim or the man that was on the receiving end of all that racist rhetoric from Bagel Karen. All right. So you guys don't want to miss that one. All right. This is an action-packed week. It's an action-packed day. It's a triple decker, y'all. So I'm on again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be on the lookout for it. And let's get chopping on that conversation. All right. And I will be opening up the phone line so we could talk about that stuff as well tonight. So be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in a couple hours. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.